Hello everyone, welcome back. And guess what? Surprise! Mario Kart 64 is actually the next game that I'm going to be streaming. And fun fact, actually, Mario Kart 64 was the very first N64 game I ever owned, played, completed. So interestingly enough, this has why wouldn't it be Super Mario 64, right? But, well, it wasn't. But there is this one track that has basically a recreation of Mario's or Peach's castle, whichever it is, and it's so cool to be able to explore it, but you can't really because you're on a cart. And so I remember getting that and thinking, oh man, I really need to get Mario 64, which obviously I did. But look at this. Here is my first show and tell item. It's actually the cart Super Mario 64. So really cool, and in fact here is Star Fox 64. In my humble opinion, this is the best Star Fox game ever made, even though unfortunately, only how many are there? 4? I haven't even streamed Star Fox 1 for Super Nintendo yet. I have a ton of commentary about Star Fox 2, which was also released for nothing. It was made for Super Nintendo, but eventually it was officially released when Nintendo released their miniature Super Nintendo classics. But I can't wait to stream Star Fox 64 because that, honestly, to me, this is the cream of the crop. Any Star Fox game has to live up to this, and no Star Fox game can live up to this, sadly. I even have the original party game, Mario Party, which is hilarious because how in the world many Mario Party games exists today? In fact, at some point I just kind of stopped even playing them because there is an infinite amount of video games that get produced, and it is hard to just keep up with new games, honestly. And I've always been the type of person who loves to replay old games, and the more games you get, the fewer new games you can actually get. But as you can see here, I also have Mario Party 2, another great game. Has some really amazing music. I don't know if I'll actually stream this, but maybe I'll load it up just so I can show off a couple of the maps soundtracks, which I really love. There's a super out of character game because sports games? I really don't play sports games. Notice on the cover though, NFL Quarterback Club 1999, Brett Favre. Fun fact, my sister's favorite football player of all time, and so therefore, since he played for Green Bay, my sister's favorite football team of all time, for all time, will indefinitely be Green Bay. This game was a hidden gem, Space Station Silicon Valley. I have tons of commentary about it. I'll save it for the obvious playthrough. And also, the thing is, this is probably the #1 reason why I say the Nintendo 64 emulator, Project 64, is absolute garbage. As I stream all of these Nintendo 64 games on original, legit hardware, at some point when I return my setup to my PC, I'll load it up and I'll show you why emulator is garbage, because here on actual hardware we get to play everything perfectly. Emulator, I shouldn't say the Project 64 is complete garbage. It's only designed to, I don't know, play Mario 64 and maybe a few others, but all of the other ones that I've even attempted just are horrible. Racing games that much, so we'll probably cruise through Super Mario or Mario Kart 64, but check this out, Diddy Kong Racing. This game, along with tons of dialogue, this is probably my favorite racing game, followed behind, or at least in the same caliber as the Wii U game. Actually, it's been kind of released for everything. Sonic and All-Stars Racing. I have that for Wii U. That is kind of the only other racing game I've ever played in 2 decades, since this gem right here, Diddy Kong Racing, that truly grabs me, and I'm like, wow, this is actually fun. So I can't wait to stream this one too. I'm actually super excited for it. Here is the first Pokemon game I can show off at all, Pokemon Stadium. Unlikely I'll need to stream this, but I definitely will have some commentary, and then absolutely will be streaming all sorts of runs, glitch showing off everything and even giveaways. I hopefully will have Starlink SpaceX internet by then, but here is a really awesome kind of potential, and like, not to steal all of my future commentary, but I love it that here is kind of like your first Pokemon console game, and actually it has taken until Generation 8 Pokemon Sword and Shield for us to actually have a mainline Pokemon game on consoles. And even that is kind of debatable due to the fact that the Nintendo Switch is kind of a hybrid console. It is both a handheld and a console. Here is another Star Wars games, a singular Star Wars game, Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. It's typically referred to as Star Wars Pod Racer though. Unlikely that I'll be streaming this, but maybe I'll pop it in and give it a go for like 10-20 minutes to kind of explain why this is most definitely not the greatest game in the universe. Okay, here is a very used copy of Pokemon Snap, and actually a lot of my games, I've shown off some of the ones that I have in like pristine condition, but now I have actually picked up as I was a trader, wheeler, and dealer. So this one was like, for example, purchased from a video game rental store or movie rental store by somebody somewhere, and then that somebody somewhere who I don't even remember anymore somehow found its way into my possession. But actually this game is kind of a fun game to pop in and play in like a lazy afternoon sort of thing. Pretty short, and in fact I am semi-excited for the now new released game for Switch, the new Snap, which I honestly might actually try out sometime. Trivia: no Nintendo 64 collection would be complete without, granted that's going to be spawning like a dozen different responses, but Super Smash Bros. In my opinion is definitely kind of the, like, your brand new original. Like, yeah, obviously Star Fox 64 is a great game, but it's not a debut. Star Fox was originally for Super Nintendo. In fact, Mario 64, absolutely first party hit, but Mario's been out since the Nintendo days. So I mean, like, as far as original game concepts go, you had Smash Brothers and Mario Party, and even though like I was originally like super into Mario Party, there are way too many Mario Party games released, and actually kind of the same thing is true about Smash Brothers games now. But I really wish that I could have procured a new copy of this game, Jet Force Gemini. In fact, this is pretty beat up, pretty used, got it second, third, fourth, fifth hand, I don't even know. It's been around a lot. It still does work though, and honestly this Nintendo 64 game is probably my favorite, like, completely unexpected like game that is like truly beloved. And I have definitely a ton of more of commentary about this. I will absolutely be streaming this baby. This is probably, if I had a top, goodness, I don't know, this is definitely close to not my top favorite N64 game, but maybe third favorite, second favorite, I don't know. Speaking of rareware games though, here's one. I got Banjo-Kazooie. I have a very interesting and funny story with that, as well as I did eventually track down the sequel, Banjo-Tooie. So I have neither of the original anything of these, so boxes, nope. Instruction manuals, nope. This is all I have from these. Got them both used. And now I have 4 more Nintendo 64 games to show off. Can you think, what could I possibly be saving for last? Here is yet another game that I got very second, third, fourth, fifth hand. Zelda: Ocarina of Time. Now, obviously I've said it many times in my recordings, this definitely is one of the greatest video games ever made, one of the greatest Zelda games ever made. However, it's not my favorite video game, nor is it my favorite Zelda game, even. In my opinion, this game does get overly deified, maybe a little bit like Smash Bros. Melee. It gets over-deified, even though, in my opinion, I like Smash Bros. Games that are not Melee, and I like Zelda games that are not Ocarina of Time. And now to show off my third to last reveal, the gold cart of Zelda Majora's Mask, which actually also has awesome funny stories. I don't know if it'll even be possible to view this in 3D. Okay, a little bit. Check that out. Nice little... I forget what it's called when it changes images on... You can like scratch it. It's like that cool thing, but it looks a little bit 3D even on the screen there. Cool story of how I got this. I can't wait to share that story, and this honestly is probably not even my favorite Zelda game. Why? Because it's been remade for the Nintendo 3DS. So I would say my favorite Zelda game of all time is actually Majora's Mask 3D, which makes this amazing gem, hidden gem, obscure gem in some respects, even better and even more beautiful, just like probably people thought when they first played this game when it came out. Alright, and now speaking of colored carts, check this super bright yellow banana cart out, Donkey Kong 64. This is one of the most anticipated Nintendo 64 games of the era, and it's also one of the late console ones, released in 1999. Keep in mind the Nintendo GameCube came out in the year 2001, but have a lot to say about this game as well. Can't wait to play it through. So have you been able to guess what is the last game I'm revealing? What is my absolute favorite Nintendo 64 game of all time? That is this one right here. Get that baby in focus, come on. Perfect Dark. And I'm not sure if I'll even stream this one, but if I do, I'll have tons of commentary for that as well. So as you can see, like I said, I have a pretty decent sized amount of Nintendo 64 games. Probably only about half of those I'm going to be streaming. It won't drown out my voice.
Welcome to Mario Kart!
And let me crank my stereo speakers down as well, because I don't need the... So as you can see, since this is for the, hold on, Nintendo 64 has 4 controller ports instead of the Super Nintendo's 2 controller ports. So right off the bat we can say, hey, 4-player game, which I think was probably epic in 1996 when this first came out. Notice though, for a 3 and 4 player, you can only do versus or battle mode. So you could really only have 1 or 2 players for the Mario Grand Prix. A second thing you might notice is for the Grand Prix you have 3 speeds to choose from, 50, 100, or 150cc. I'm pretty sure if you get golds on all tracks in, I don't remember if you just have to do 150 or if you have to get gold for all speeds, all tracks. I think that is what unlocks the mirrored tracks of everything, and also gives you a brand new title screen as an accomplishment. So I will use Wario just because I guess I always use him, even though I'll tell you straight up, Wario is honestly not that good for the Mushroom Cup because the Moo Moo Farm and Koopa, actually everything but Luigi Raceway, Wario seems to sink in the sand a little bit and he's intrinsically slower. This one he's okay at, decent at. I think Wario is okay and decent for that one as well. And this one, I think he's okay and decent for that one as well. I can't remember any other problems other than the Mushroom Cup 150cc with Wario, as far as everyone was always passing me. So right off the bat, since the last Mario Kart game we've streamed was, what, Super Mario Kart, which had like, what, 6 laps, but each lap was like 10 seconds long, 20 seconds long. We finally have an actual true 3D screen, even though you are not using or that you don't have a 3D model for your actual kart. This is a sprite. The smoke trail is sprites, static images, and I'm pretty sure all of the items are also static images, flat 2D. And if you don't believe me, all you have to do is like go into any 2-player battle versus or anything, and no matter what way you're looking at something, you will always see it from the same angle. Just like the cactus, the Pokey in Super Mario 64. So I would say that the biggest flaw with Mario Kart 64, oh, I hit my own banana, didn't I? Is similar to the previous installment in that 50cc is too easy. So it's like, okay, you can kind of learn via the tracks, that's fine. Oh boy. But then by the time you get to 150cc, the AI, okay, so in here, 50 and 150cc, the people, the players, are like sheep, docile sheep. Like, I think I can probably play all 4 of these cups and never get attacked by any item ever. Mario Kart 64, oh, I hit my own banana, didn't I? But I kid you not, in 150cc, the AI opponents are very aggressive. And the sad thing is, think on this. What are the items, the godlike items, that you only get when you're like in 6th place, in 7th place, in 8th place? Oh, I don't know, the lightning bolt. And likely it's very rare to ever get hit by a lightning bolt. And it is so frustrating to like be battling on 150cc, I don't know, maybe you're battling for 3rd place, battling for 2nd, not even in the lead. Dodge that banana. And then, bam, you get hit by a lightning bolt at the most inopportune time so that you go sliding off this cliff because you were like this close to its jump. Whereas the AI opponents that were like either seconds ahead of you or behind you don't suffer that same fate. So not only do you get shrunk, but you also fall off the track, you lose time, you lose everything. And it's so frustrating. It's like, wow, are these AI opponents designed to use their items when it's most damaging for the player? Because it sure seems like that, to be honest. Alright, those moles that pop out of the ground, I probably shouldn't do it on a Grand Prix mode, but same thing. No matter what angle you are looking at them, they will always be facing forward. Flat 2D sprite. See, I noticed I am kind of getting overtaken easily by virtue of Wario just goes slower on sandy terrain. One other thing. In this game, you can do the drifting boost things, but honestly, it does not like seem to improve your speed that much. And also, if you tailgate somebody, you do get a slight boost as well. But it's actually very toned down as opposed to that same technique in more modern Mario Kart games. Alright, the golden mushroom you can boost an infinite amount of times from the time that you begin to use this item to when the timer of the item actually wears out. So like, I probably have, I don't know, 5 seconds, 6 seconds before this item now disappears.
I'm a Wario. I'm gonna win.
This level has some interesting shortcuts as well as secrets. So notice this island, or that rock, is in the shape of a Koopa. It's so cute. And honestly, that's kind of the biggest or saddest thing about racing games is even if you have this really beautiful environment, you can't sit there and stop and enjoy it because, well, you're racing. Alright, I'm pretty sure you need a speed boost to use that on 50cc. Oh, almost got it. So on 150cc, you're definitely going fast enough that you can just take that slope up. Oops. and make it to the top, but not here, not now. Unless I had a mushroom. Well, that's unfortunate. Peach is an interesting character. I think she's actually saying get you, but to me it sounds like she's always said Pichu, Peach you. Not Pichu the Pokemon, but you know, Peach. Yeah, anyways. It sounds weird. Haha! Oh, wow, Yoshi, thanks for taking out 2 of my reds. Man, how far ahead is Toad? Uh-oh. There he is. Aha! What is cool being a heavyweight, I can like run into lightweights like that, like Toad, and like they get knocked out and I keep going. Oh, miss. Oh, man. Even though I set the lap record there with 51 seconds, fastest lap, not enough. So as long as Toad does not finish 2 positions ahead of me, I will get gold on this Grand Prix. This one has some interesting mechanics also. You come up to a railroad track, and if I am somehow able to get a star, you can kind of use that railroad track as a handy little shortcut. And I'm pretty sure this game was probably designed with 150cc speed in mind. However, it's going to desync a little bit. Like, notice it lines up nicely on lap 1. Oh man, I tried to brake as hard as I could. Well, I have golden mushrooms there. So we can actually go cross-country a little bit. It's all mathematics. It's the shortest distance between 2 points. You know, like that famous mathematical statement, the straightest distance between 2 lines, the straightest distance between 2 shorts is a point? Nah, the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. Only in Euclidean space, though. Mathematics, ladies and gents. No, but actually that is kind of also known as the triangular inequality, which kind of defines what's called a metric space. So it's interesting, there are like various things like equivalence relations that are very interesting mathematical structures that are like useful and have like, you know, real life applications that actually do not adhere to like that triangular inequality. That's so, Toad. Get behind me. I'll hit you with this green shell. Ha ha! I've already got the gold locked up. Man, look at that. He's back already. Bowser might actually get second, and so then Toad will be like way off of the challenge aspect. I'm pretty sure Toad will still take silver with this performance though, but yeah, it's heavily stacked for first and second place, as you see. Alright, how's our time doing? We probably have time to do the Flower Cup, and then I'll probably call it good for the day, and then tomorrow I'll finish the Star and Special Cup. Unfortunately, I can't, after I break, yeah, I do have plans tonight, so otherwise I could finish up Mario Kart 64 easily in the space of about an hour, hour and a half, at least on 50cc. That's kind of, at least the game is still fun. Honestly, the game would be funnest playing human players. However, on the AI, it's a little bit less fun, in my opinion. So yeah, I think this was like the first